Great, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's been a little while since I've seen you.
Yeah, since conference, right?
I know. I can't believe that was so long ago. This summer
Mm-hmm.
flew by.
I know, I really did.
I know. Did you enjoy conference?
Yeah, I did. I had a blast. I think it was one of the best conferences so far for me.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's neat. That was my first one, so I didn't really have anything to compare it to.
Yeah. Well, there's always next year. Are you going?
I would like to. I really would. I just have to figure it all out to see who can
Mm-hmm.
come with me and all of that. Are you going or no?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I'll be there.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious, why did you think this one was one of the best?
I just felt like this year at conference was like one of the first times that I was actually able to like sit down and connect with a bunch of people with SMA, particularly adults. With other conference years, they're always fantastic, don't get me wrong, but we're always so caught up in like doing Disney and going to the park and family and like wanting to do all the activities. But with Austin, it was just like chill and we got to hang out with a lot of new and old faces. So it was
Yeah,
really special to me.
I know. That's what I heard other people say that as well. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's at Disney, and I was like, I can't imagine trying to do Disney and the conference because just the conference itself is so busy, you know? So
Yeah.
I guess you have to stay extra days to do both. But
Mm-hmm.
well, that's awesome. Yeah, I loved it. It was my first
Mm-hmm.
experience, and oh, I absolutely love meeting everybody in person and all the different types of SMA. And that's one of the reasons why I started doing these videos for people who are watching for the first time. It's a way to advocate for Cure SMA and to show people that there are all different types and all different ages of people living with SMA and that they still live a normal everyday life and they have jobs, they have families, then they have, busy, they stay busy, and that's what we want to show people. So, anyway, so go ahead and tell us your name and where you're from.
All right. Well, my name is Maylan. I was actually born in Cuba, but I live in Miami for most of my life. I'm 30 years old and I have SMA type 2.
Okay. Well, how do you like Miami?
Miami's, Miami's like the typical I live where you vacation type of mentality.
Mhm.
It's fun. There's lots to do here. The food is amazing, but there's also a lot of traffic. There's
Yeah.
lots of people, lots of traffic, and bad drivers. So
Wow.
after a while, that gets a little bit tiresome.
Yeah. Do you live on the beach or on the water?
No, I live nearby, but not on the beach. I live like 20 minutes away from the
Hmm.
beach.
Well, that's awesome. I've never been
Mm-hmm.
there. I've been to Florida many a times, but
Mm-hmm.
never to Miami. But yeah, I've heard it's pretty crazy the amount of people. It's a lot of people.
Yeah,
So, hmm. Well, so you said you have type 2. So
that's right.
let's go ahead and talk about all of that. How old were you when you were diagnosed?
I was diagnosed when I was 1 year and about 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we didn't know what was going on. I think, like many other families, we just never thought about SMA, especially in Cuba. Like, there's no knowledge of rare diseases like SMA. So it's just kind of like a shot in the dark. Um, some doctor guessed that I might have something like MD. So that's the closest idea we had at the moment until we were able to migrate to the States. And then I got sick with like, some kind of cold or something. But obviously I wasn't crawling or walking at that age. So they just did like a full checkup on everything. And that included a muscle biopsy, which is when I was finally diagnosed with SMA type 2.
Wow. So yeah, back in Cuba especially, did your family know of any other families with SMA or no?
No, no, not at all.
No. Oh wow. And what
Mm-mm.
about, do you have any siblings?
No, I'm an only child.
Only child?
Yeah.
So do you know anyone in your family, like cousins or anyone with SMA or no?
Nobody else in my family has been affected with SMA, so
Mhm. So you were the only one that y'all know of, yeah.
yeah, the lucky one.
Yeah, I know, that's what we all say.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird because, some people have relatives who have it
Mm-hmm.
and cousins and
Yeah.
siblings, and then some don't know of anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so weird how genes work um, and while we're talking about this, for those of you that don't know, um, to have SMA, both of your parents have to be carriers of the gene. So, your mom and dad both have to carry it for you to have SMA. But people with SMA don't necessarily have kids with SMA. Like people think when they have babies, oh, their baby's gonna have SMA, but that's not the case. Because if they have a child with someone who is not a carrier, then their child does not have it. So yeah, it's interesting how it all works. So wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how old were you when y'all moved to the States? Did you say that or no?
I was a year and 4 months, so I was diagnosed about 2 months later
Oh,
after arriving. Mm-hmm.
after arriving here. Wow. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so you probably don't remember living there at all.
Yeah.
No. Oh wow. Well, so you're 30, so tell us about your education. Did you attend college after high school or what?
Yeah, I went to Florida International University and I got my bachelor's in psychology.
Hmm.
And then after graduation, I went to my first like Cure SMA conference in 2017. And at that conference, I was able to find, luckily, really fortunate for that opportunity, a company called iGaze. They create tablets that you can use hands free. It's for people with limited mobility. And
Hmm.
they offered me an internship like pretty much as soon as I worked with them for the demo on the computer and stuff and doing uh, the internship for them really opened a lot of doors for me in terms of like advocacy work. And then I kind of realized, oh, I enjoy doing this. So I want to
Hmm.
keep exploring options within advocacy. And now I do a bunch of stuff with Cure SMA, with Biogen, with Christopher Reeves Foundation.
Oh,
Um, yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Well, that is really neat. Well, Tell me about the Christopher Reeves Foundation because I actually have not seen the movie yet. But I'm really excited about it. I want to see it. So, what
Hmm.
all does his foundation do?
Well, the Christopher Reeves Foundation, they do a lot of work actually, other than like the obvious research for spinal
Hmm.
cord injuries. They do a
Hmm.
lot of programs like nationwide for just inclusive activities, sports, you name it. They fund all that kinds of stuff for everyone to participate. Actually, here in Miami, they sponsor a program called Sabrina's Beach, and Sabrina's Beach is an accessible beach day that everyone can participate in. It's free and it's hosted once a month. I think every third Sunday throughout the summer. And they have volunteers help you into the water. They have beach wheelchairs. They have lunch. They have community. So, Christopher Reeves sponsors all kinds of cool projects like that.
That is really neat.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow. So, what beach where do they do that exactly in Florida?
They do that in Miami Beach.
It's in Miami. Oh,
Hmm.
wow.
Hmm.
Well, that is really neat. Yes,
Hmm.
I'm sure a lot of people, wheelchairs don't ever have the opportunity to experience the beach, and
Hmm.
that is so neat. Well, that's awesome. Yes, I'm excited to go see his movie. But I haven't gone yet to see it. But
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well.
I know. I remember when we were younger, you probably remember too, like he was really the first person that we saw on national television, that was in a wheelchair. And yeah, I remember that was amazing to me, even though, I mean, obviously he didn't have SMA, but still, I think he was a big, groundbreaker for the disability community for sure. Uh,
Yeah, there's no doubt. I think he's so critical and vital to awareness and representation of disability issues to a much, much wider audience.
yes, exactly.
Hmm.
I know. Well, that is really neat. And so tell us, so you told us about the eye gauge um, that you do. What it's for an iPad or a computer, or what do you use it for?
It's a they have the software on a Microsoft Surface.
Mhm,
That's the tablet that they use. And
mhm,
basically attached to the Surface, they have a camera that detects corneal movement. So
mhm,
with an infrared light, it'll reflect off your eye. And
mhm.
then that's essentially your mouse on the screen. And I worked with them officially for a year to help like demo it at conventions, um, just show people how I use it in my day to day, how they could use it in their day to day, and to talk about like how important it is to meet communication needs. Because I think a lot of times, depending on like the severity of your disability, you're not always able to access a computer or a phone or even to speech, but the
Yeah.
eye gaze helps you, meet that need at any level that you may require. So I think it was super cool working with them and getting to know a lot of different people.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, what do you do for your phone? Does it work for your phone or no?
Right now it's only available through the tablet.
Mhm,
Of course, they're working towards like expanding that to cell
Mhm,
phones and things like that. But
mhm.
actually, this isn't iGay software, it's Apple software. I think in the most recent update, they have an iGaze similar like ability that's still kind of like in beta testing. You can check it out in your settings later if that's something
Okay.
anyone's like interested in. They're
Well,
kind of they're kind of soft launching it right now. It needs work, obviously, but it's cool to play with right now.
to play with it. Oh, wow, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
as the older I've gotten, the harder it is for me to do like the apps and stuff, so
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome. I'd
Mm-hmm.
like to try that. Because I use the voice activation a lot too, which,
Right, of course.
yeah, that's good, but it doesn't do everything you need to do on your
Mm-hmm.
phone,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I'm thinking Apple's gonna come out with more stuff because I know last Christmas I got an Apple Watch for Christmas, but
Mm-hmm.
I thought I didn't realize I should have read more about it before I bought it, but I didn't realize you couldn't use Siri with it.
Oh,
I
okay,
thought
okay.
it was voice activated like your
Mm-hmm.
phone, and it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't. And I went to the Apple store and I asked them because I wasn't able to push like the side button on it, to activate it. And the guy worked with me forever trying to do it. He's like, you would think that they would have this because Apple has so many disability features,
Mm-hmm.
but there was no way to do it. So I ended up just returning it. I was like, well,
Yeah.
hopefully in a year or two, they're going to come out with, more technology.
Mm-hmm.
So
No, there's no doubt about it.
I know, I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell us about like your medical equipment that you have to use every day.
Um, I mean, I use my wheelchair, obviously. And then other than that, I used to be on my ventilator 24/7, but for the past like year, a little over a year now, I've been able to only use it at night, which is an awesome gain. Um, and even then, the doctor says I'm pretty much clear to not use it at all if I didn't, you know, want to anymore. But baby
Wow.
steps, baby steps, we're working towards that.
Yes, that is amazing.
hmm
So
hmm
I see that you have a trachea. How old were you when you got that put in?
I was 12 when I
12.
had it put in. Yep.
Okay. And what was I'm just curious, what was the decision between non-invasive and invasive? What?
Well, I was already on like non-invasive for,
Mhm,
most of my childhood.
mhm,
But then I got really sick with like pneumonia, and I was in the hospital already for 3 months at that time. So I wasn't getting any better, and my doctor asked my parents to make the decision because that was like last resort, for us. And
mhm.
thankfully we did it, and I've been super, super extremely healthy since then. Thank goodness. But now with like treatment and everything, I've been able to be less time on the ventilator. So much to the point that I don't even need it anymore. So that's kind of awesome.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah, that is awesome. That's
hmm
why I think, some people sometimes, yeah, obviously it's the last resort for all of us, but I
hmm
try to explain that to people. I'm like, I know people who they're still able to talk, they're still able to, eat, they can still
Yeah.
live with it a normal life. I don't think people realize that. Um, So, well, I'm glad that you're not having to use it that much anymore. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's been fantastic.
So what do you use Trilogy? Is that what you use for ventilator?
Yeah, I have a trilogy.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, that's good. Now, do you have any other lifts or vehicles modified?
Um, I have an electric wire lift.
Uh-huh.
I use a suction machine, obviously when I need it.
Uh-huh.
I have an accessible van.
Uh-huh.
Um, I think that's about it, like in terms of like medical equipment.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Well, that's neat. What kind of van do you have right now?
I have a Dodge Caravan.
And have you been
Yeah.
happy with it?
Um, I mean, yeah, my van has
Uh-huh.
taken me pretty far and on a
Uh-huh.
lot of trips, so I'm really grateful for the independence that it gives me.
Well, that's good. I was just curious because I'm actually about to purchase a new one soon, and
Hmm.
so I'm looking at all the different types out there, and so
Hmm.
I was just kind of getting different people's opinions on them.
Yeah,
Well, that's neat. Do you have a side entrance or the rear entrance?
rear entry.
Oh, the rear entry?
Hmm.
Yeah. How can you put other people in the back too, or no?
I sit like right in the middle, and on each side of
Uh-huh.
me, there's a seat. So there's like two seats in the back, one in the front, three seats total.
Okay.
So it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. Yeah. Well,
Hmm.
that's good.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've never had a rear entry. I've always had side. So I don't know. Yeah, I have to look at all the different options.
Pros and cons. Yeah.
Yeah, it's out there. I wish they had more SUV options, but
Hmm. Hmm.
unfortunately, we're still limited with that. But yeah. So, well, that's neat. Well, tell us about do you have caregivers that help you?
Yeah, I have a team of nurses,
Uh-huh.
um, all day, every day, and they help me out a lot. I've had them for years, I think at this point, so we're pretty much family.
That's
Um,
so awesome.
yeah, it's a nice team of lovely ladies who I appreciate very much.
Yes, yes. So how many do you have total for 20?
Three.
Oh, only three for
Mm.
24-hour care.
Well, I have 16 hours a
Oh,
day, but still, it's a
okay.
lot of time. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Well, that's
Hmm.
so good though. Well, what do you do that or time? Are you able to manage on your own, or how do you do that?
The other time you mean? The other
Yeah.
8 hours?
Mhm.
My mom helps me out,
Mhm.
so she's here for the other 8 hours.
Oh, well, that's good.
Hmm.
Good. She can help out too.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So you don't have PCA, you have actually nurses?
Yeah, because of the ventilator and the
Mhm.
trach,
Mhm.
Florida requires you to have what they call skilled nursing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
So
I
they
could technically switch to PCA
Mhm.
hours, but then they would have me choose either nursing hours or PCA hours.
Mhm.
And like I said, I've had the ladies for so long. And before I used to be on the ventilator 24/7, it doesn't really make sense to switch to PCA hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome that you've had the same ones with you. And
Mm-hmm.
as I know, as we all know, caregivers are hard to come by,
They really are.
especially good ones. So when they
Mm-hmm.
feel like your family, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, it's a
Or
blessing.
Yes, for sure. And are they able, like, if you have to travel and stuff, are they able to travel with you or no?
Um, Not by law, not technically,
Mhm.
which is such a silly rule, I think, to have in place for us. But they come with me anyways when I need to go somewhere, so that's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's weird because I know, like, well, I have just PCAs, but you can get an approved, like, you have to do it ahead of time, like, get it approved ahead, but
Hmm.
they can travel with you if they need to.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, yeah. The only thing they're not allowed to do with us is, like, if you're hospitalized,
Okay.
they're not allowed to stay with you at the hospital.
Right.
Which I think that's kind of crazy because not everybody has family support to go stay with them, you know?
Well, I think they can stay. They just won't get compensated for it.
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
won't. Yeah, yeah, they
Hmm.
just won't. And so yeah, but thankfully last time I was in the hospital, my mom was able to come with me and stay with me because sometimes you don't get all the care you need in the hospital, and also
Yeah, for
you
sure.
have someone with you that knows how to do all of your stuff. So,
Mm.
um, but that's really neat. Well, tell us about, do you have any hobbies that you like to do?
Yeah, so I like to play video games. I like to travel. I like to try new foods, restaurants, you name it. I'm a big eater,
Uh-huh.
and I love watching movies and
Mhm.
shows. I always tell everyone I'm kind of like a big movie buff. I love talking
Yeah,
about movies. Yeah,
uh-huh. Well, that's good. Well, that's
yeah.
good. What kind of movies are you into?
Um, I mean, a little bit of everything. I like drama,
Mhm,
sci-fi,
mhm,
fantasy, romance,
mhm.
you name it, I like it. I'm not super into horror though, because I'm a scaredy cat.
Me either. I'm the same way. I don't like that either. So,
Yeah, but I'll give it a try. If like someone gives me like a good recommendation, I'm like, okay, I'll watch it during the daytime.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not too big on those either. But
Mm,
yeah, oh, well, that's neat. Well, you said video games, so
mhm.
yeah, I've talked to a lot of other people that like video games too, and they all have different controllers and different things that they use. So, what do you use for your video games?
Well, my like highlight for gaming, it's like so useful. I play console, and PlayStation has an app called Remote Play, and
Mhm,
basically you can install that on whatever phone, tablet, whatever you want, and you
mhm,
can play, like you can use the controller buttons on that device. So like let's say I'm not super like energetic, or like I'm low on spoons, or
mhm,
like I'm just tired, right? I can play with my phone and not have to deal with the actual controller, because all the buttons will show up on my phone. And that's been super helpful for me a lot
mhm.
of times.
Oh yeah, well that's neat.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not a big, huge video player, so I don't
Mm-hmm.
really know the whole. I mean, I used to play a lot when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
with my brothers, but back then I still had really good use of my hands and arms, so
Mm-hmm.
I could use the regular controllers, but I probably couldn't now. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so. Well, what about any life hacks or assisted technology that you use to make your life easier every day?
Um, I'm big on Alexa. I have Alexa in like every room, pretty much. I have like the light bulbs to control my TV, the thermostat, you know, all of that stuff is unfortunately super expensive, but it's so worth investing in because you can make the whole house comfortable to your needs without like having someone do it for you or like turn the light off for you.
Mhm.
So I'm a big fan of her. She's great. And then other than that, Siri, on my iPhone, um, helps me out a lot when I'm too tired to send a message or
Mhm.
to find someone in my contacts and give them a phone call.
Mhm.
Um, for making notes, she's great also. Um, and
Oh,
then it's
really? I've never used
yeah,
it for that. I didn't know you could do that.
yeah. Just tell her like, "Hey Siri, start a note," and she'll say what you want it to say, and then you
Uh-huh.
just tell her, and she'll write it down and save it.
Yeah, awesome. I didn't know that. I haven't used that yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to try that out. Well,
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty cool. Now, you
Yeah,
mentioned your TV. Do you have the Amazon Fire TV or no?
I have one Amazon Fire TV, but my other one is not. But
Mhm.
it's still compatible with Alexa.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Just turn it off and on, or will it find shows for you and all that?
I'll find shows. It just has a different command.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause I have the Fire TV and, yeah, I really like it. I've noticed some of the apps, it doesn't work as well.
Mm-mm.
Like, is it Prime? No, it's not Prime. Yeah, it might be Prime Video, which is crazy because you would think it's an Amazon TV, but I
Mm-mm.
noticed, like, it won't pause it or play it, but, like, using Netflix and all that, it does great with that,
Mm-mm.
so, yeah, it's pretty, it's, like, 2 years old, though, they may have one that's more updated
Updated.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I need to see if they do, but, yeah, I enjoy using it too a lot, but,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, those things make our life a whole lot easier.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, not to have to depend on, people to do it for you all the time. So,
Mm-mm.
um, well, what about treatment for SMA? Are you on any kind of treatment?
Yeah, I'm on Spinraza, and I've been on Spinraza for 5.5 years
Mhm.
now. Mm-hmm.
Okay, how's that going for you?
Awesome. I love Spinraza, and I'm super grateful for it.
Mhm. So you've noticed a lot of changes or no?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of changes,
Mhm.
mostly with the being able to come off my ventilator during the day. And then in May of this year, I started doing PT. Finally, had the insurance improve of some PT sessions, so I've been able to work out a little bit and kind of complement treatment with a little bit of physical therapy. So I've
Mhm.
seen more gains with like my arm and my hands um use.
Really? That's awesome.
Hmm.
So did you ever try Erisby or no, you stuck to Spinraza
No, I've been with Spinoza the whole time.
the whole time? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's neat. So how do they administer it to you?
They inject me cervically, so that means right into my neck.
Mhm. Wow, that's how I did it for a while, and then we have a new doctor now, and
Mm-hmm.
he didn't feel comfortable doing it that way. So
Mm-hmm.
he actually does it even though I have a rod, I'm fused. Are you fused too?
Yeah, I am. I am.
Yeah, yeah. And but he still is able to do it through my back. I don't know how, but
Oh well.
he does. So, what is it painful for you in your neck?
No, it's not. It's not.
Not at all.
No, just a little stab, like the initial stab for lidocaine.
Mhm.
A little bit of pain numbing before, but after that, I don't feel anything.
Does it, I remember whenever I got it cervical like that, it would give me like a brain freeze. Did it ever do that to you or no?
No, it gives me maybe like 5 seconds where my face feels really warm,
Okay, yeah.
because it's just like so closely injected into the skull, kind of, um, that it makes my face warm. But then the doctor and the IR technician, they like lift me up for a minute so the medicine can go down, so to speak, and then that sensation goes away.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I never did see that when I got it like that. It was right at the beginning, right when Spinraza came out. And so they told us to lay flat for like an hour afterwards to make sure we didn't get the spinal headaches. And so, that's interesting. I never sat up right after, but maybe I should have.
Yeah. Yeah, since I started, my doctor would say, let's get you right back in the chair.
Uh-huh.
Like immediately after. I've never laid down for any of my like things. Like obviously I lay down in the CT machine to find the positioning for the needle. But after he's done, he's like, get back in your chair. So,
Mhm.
mhm,
Wow. Yeah, I do now. Now that I'm getting it in my back, I'll just get right back in my chair
mhm.
and I don't lay down anymore. But thank goodness I've never had a spinal headache. Have you?
No, no.
Mm,
One time, there's like one specific time that my head hurt, and that was weird for me because I've never had a headache after Spinraza. So I told my doctor because he was still there, and I'm like, "Hey, my head hurts. This is not normal." And he's
mhm.
like, "Oh, that was intentional. I put a bubble in your fluid just to see like if you were flowing correctly." And I was like, oh, okay. Nothing to worry about then. It was intentional.
And so it went away, right? It
Yeah,
went,
it went away.
yeah. Oh,
Hmm.
wow. Yeah. Well, so did they tell you that there was no opening in your spine?
He told me that I have an opening
Mhm.
in my lumbar, but it would be like too risky in my opinion to like go in there and try to find it, or
Yeah.
like the possibility of making sure he can get in, I think would result in more like trial and error,
Mhm.
um, and possibly pain. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'd rather just go in cervically.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know, and I mean, I know it's a risky procedure, but
Hmm.
there's so many doctors that are so against it, doing it
Hmm.
cervically.
Yeah.
When I would tell people that I would have it done that way, they're like, "I can't believe that doctor is doing that," and it scared me at first because I'm like, Is this not normal? Like, do
Hmm.
people not do this?" But
Yeah.
I mean, I knew other people doing it with him as well, and it was fine. But I don't know. I guess it's just what the doctors are comfortable with, I guess. Uh,
Yeah, I'm super lucky that my doctor is like extremely gifted with his
yeah,
hands and
yeah,
he knows exactly what he's doing. He's
yeah.
super talented, so that's why I trust him with doing the procedure. Like, if I didn't trust him, or if God forbid he retired, um, I think I would just go to a emergency.
Well, I thought that too, but mine, unfortunately, he passed away of
Oh
brain.
no,
Yes, he found out he had a brain tumor, and within a few months he died. Which, I mean,
that's terrible.
we were in shock because I mean, here this man is like helping everybody save everybody else's life, and then he finds out he has this, and there was nothing they could do for him, and he passed away. And at the time when he passed away, I was on a road team, because that was during COVID and all the craziness, and I didn't really want to go to the hospital. And but then RSD really wasn't working the greatest for me. So I was like, well, I think I'm gonna try Spinrose again. But I was like, I don't know if I can do it without Dr. Anderson, because I felt
Mm,
the same way he did. I trusted him, and he was so talented, and he would always say, does it hurt? Can you feel it? And do you need more lidocaine? But then I met the new doctor, and he's been wonderful too. He's been great. I haven't had any bad experiences or so yeah, I guess you just never know.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but thankfully that he was able to do it in my back because if not, there's only one other doctor in our state of Louisiana that looks
Mm.
at cervical. So
Oh, I see.
yeah, so
Yeah.
so thank goodness that he was able to find a spot and could do it all. So
Mm.
so yeah. So are you excited about the higher dose of Spinraza?
Yeah, yeah. Fingers crossed. That gets FDA approved
I
sometime next year.
I hope so too. I really do. But
Mm-hmm.
I think they're almost there, so
Mm-hmm.
it's looking good for us for sure.
Yeah, it looks promising.
Yes, yes. So, well, what is the one thing that you would like to advocate the most for Cure SMA?
Well, for Cure SMA and the SMA community in general, I'm so big on like being authentic and being true to our stories and our experiences. And I think that the best way that we can do that is by connecting, by sharing our experiences, whether they be good or bad, and just talking about them because the more we talk about them, the more we normalize our experience. And then the more we talk about them, the more we can teach others that are coming after us to make their experience easier, which is a big goal for me. And everything that I do with disability issues, it's like, how can I make this better or easier for someone else that's coming after me? You know, maybe for me it was hard, but I don't necessarily want it to be difficult for anyone else. So just being open, being honest, being transparent, being vulnerable, all those things matter so much and they're so valuable for everyone that even cares to listen. So a
Mhm.
lot of my work, especially with Cure SMA, is so centered on like this is what we have. Let's figure out the best way to deal with it because we're already here, and it's already such a potentially like exciting life with so much to offer. Let's make the most out of it and talk about what it is that we need to continue maximizing this experience, you know? And that means like advocating for laws, advocating for legislation, advocating for whatever change you think you need to facilitate your life. And, you know, that could be something as big as like a law being passed in Congress, or something as small as telling your caregivers you need something done a certain way. You know, advocacy is such a wide spectrum of actions,
It is,
and we really need to start talking about it without like fear, because like I said, we're already here, we're already kicking. We might as well be like as authentic and as real as possible.
yes, yes, I totally agree. And, we're so fortunate now with social media that
Hmm.
we can all connect with each other so easy now. And I know growing up, and I'm sure you too, when you were young, I didn't hardly know anyone with SMA because, Cure SMA wasn't a huge thing then, and
Yeah,
we didn't have social media then. So, unless they lived in your town or
yeah.
somewhere
Or went to
like,
your school, which is
yeah,
unlikely.
yeah, no, I was the only one in my town.
Hmm.
I actually knew someone that lived about 45 minutes from me that
Hmm.
but yeah, but other than that, that was it, like forever, until
Hmm.
Cure SMA came out and started connecting all of us. And I know we're so lucky to have all of that now. So, and I agree. I think, with us sharing our stories with each other and helping each other out, that's, the best way we can live our lives and just try to
Hmm.
change the world for the better for the younger generation too, coming back.
Exactly.
So, for sure. Well, it's been such a pleasure talking to you.
Likewise, I've had a lot of
I,
fun.
I know I'm so excited to talk to you today, and I hope you have a good rest of the week. So I know
Thanks.
today feels like it's almost. I know a lot of people are off today, so it feels like a weekend today, but it's not. It's Tuesday.
Yeah, it's voting day,
I
so it's not quite a fun weekend type of off day. It's a
know.
go do something important day.
Important day, yes.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know. Hopefully everybody went out, and I guess we should talk about that too. Hopefully the people with SMA, hopefully they all went out and voted today.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go a little bit after we're done here. I'm gonna head out to my local polling booth place and put my vote in. So if you're
Ready.
able to, you should go out and vote.
Yeah, and even if you're not able to get out, they can send it by mail as well to you,
Yeah.
to your home. So that's how they do mine. I can go to
Mm,
the polls, but every time I went, they're like, "We can just mail it to you." So finally, I was like, "Okay, that's fine. Just mail it to me,
mm,
and I'll do it that way." But yeah, we definitely I'll do all the normal things that everyone does. So
mm.
that's why we're doing these videos to show people that. So well, have a good evening and go out and vote. And I will talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you. Thanks,
All right,
everyone.
thank you. Bye.
Have a great time. Bye.
Bye.